everyone, this is Emily from burlapkitchen.com, where I'm all about simplicity. Today we're going to be making a cute braided candle mat using some fabric I had in my fabric bin, a scrap piece of cardboard, and a drawing compass. So one of the first things I'm going to do is take a Sharpie and mark my cardboard to just sort of give me an idea of the size that I want my braided mat to be. So now I'm going to take my drawing compass and I'm going to use that to give me a perfect circle shape. This is actually a really cool tool to keep in your craft stash and only costs about $2. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the circle shape. Okay, so I'm going to go back and kind of clean it up a little bit here with my scissors. You do want to have a pretty perfect circle shape for this project so it turns out right. Now I'm just measuring my candle again just to make sure everything looks the way that I want it to look. So now I'm going to take my fabric that I have. I decided that I was going to do 2 orange and then a cream color in the middle. So to get the fabric strips, you want them probably about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick. And the way I do it is I cut a small slit in the fabric and then I just tear it. Next I'm going to go ahead and just line my fabric up the way that I want it to go. And now I'm just going to take some hot glue and just hot glue the ends together. This just keeps it from coming apart while I'm braiding. So I'm going to glue that one and then we're going to glue another one here on top. And like I said, that's just going to keep everything secure while we braid. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tape and go ahead and tape it to the table as I braid. An easier option would be if you had someone hold this for you while you braid. The tape sometimes comes loose, so I think it is much easier if somebody would just hold it for you. As you braid, you want to make sure you're stopping every so often and untangle your fabric, or you're going to end up with a huge mess. Trust me, I've had that happen a few times. So just make sure to stop and untangle everything as you go. I had to move off camera here because this is a fairly long braid. So now that we're at the end, I'm going to go ahead and just do the same thing I did at the beginning and just glue all the ends together just so everything stays secure. I do not want that braid to come undone. Now I'm just going to snip off that excess. And we have our first braid finished and ready to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repeat this process. I kind of sped this up a little bit because it's better to have a little bit extra when you're gluing. So I wasn't exactly sure how much I would need, so I just decided to make an extra braid just in case, which I did end up using. You'll see that here in a minute. Okay, and I'm just going to do the same thing and go ahead and glue that and snip the ends. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to use that center dot. The drawing compass makes almost like a little hole there in the middle, and you're going to want to use that guide for your center. And I'm just going to glue the end right onto the cardboard. You want to make sure when you get the centerpiece down that you keep gluing and pushing all the extras down, because there is a little bit of fabric that will try to pop up. So now I'm going to start just gluing around and wrapping my fabric around. As you do this, you want to make sure that your fabric, that you're laying your braid so it's flat and not twisted. And I'm just going to keep on gluing and pressing and working my way around the circle here. And I am just using a regular hot glue stick for this. There's no need for the fabric bond glue for this project. The hot glue worked just fine. And you'll see here now that we're starting to get to the end, we're going to have to go ahead and use just a little bit of that second braid. So let me get this glued on and pressed down. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I just want to make sure that end is pressed down nice and good before we add this second piece. And I just kind of line them up where the braid should go. That way that both ends match. And then we're just going to glue this little piece on. We only needed just a little strip of this. But save the rest of this because we're going to use the rest of this braid for another project. Okay, now I'm just going to start gluing and tucking just to try and get it to look neat there on the end. And I did have to sort of re-braid it a little bit. And I'm just going to add a little bit more glue. You want to make sure it's glued down really good so it doesn't come loose. And now I'm just going to take my scissors and trim up all these ends, or the little frayed pieces of the fabric. And I'm going to set my candle there, and I want to show you guys one that I made on a live. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this fun DIY. For more easy DIYs just like this one, please visit burlapkitchen.com. Thank you.